Hello and welcome to the Digital Deep Dive podcast, the podcast where we talk about all the tech solutions and the kind of technology that we deal with on the daily, all the problems they solve for us. And today we're talking about one of the most coveted problems or one of the most coveted solutions as we speak that is, prevalent in the industry, which is the recruitment portal. And I have with me CK and Parth. From the recruitment portal team that are going to be diving deep into the problems that they faced. Why is recruiting or this portal and how is it serving us on the daily? So thank you, CK and Parth, for coming in here. Now, recruitment portal, there's so many out there in the market. Why did we need one? Why did we need to white label one for ourselves?
So I'll start with my own experience here. So you're 100% right that there are many solutions available in the market where we use. But all the solutions have their own limitations. It's not everything that you get in the one solution. So when I was into the core hiring, where I came across a problem where, getting the data centralized, getting everything under one dashboard was a problem. So if I wanted to see the candidate pipeline, I'm logging in somewhere else. If I wanted to see the interview schedules, I'm checking another thing. And when it comes to feedback, the final outcome, the onboarding process, everything is different portal, So that's where the idea came that, let's have something where we can have everything under one roof as a single solution, single dashboard. And that's how the ideation part of this recruitment portal starts. And I get in touch with CK, shared my idea that, okay, let's, this is my idea. Let's do something like this, which can help us. And, maybe also using this portal can help, to speed up the recruitment, to get proper outcome, the resource utilization in a proper way. So that's how the idea came into the picture.
So, what was the biggest problem or what was the biggest roadblock? The reason I'm asking this, and it sounds like a repetitive question, but maybe if I'm able to put some more perspective into this question is that, we invested a lot of resources and time in building this for ourselves. This wasn't a product that was, meant to sell out. Like this wasn't something that we had planned, we haven't, to the best of my knowledge, correct me if I'm wrong, we haven't actually even offered it as a solution that, we've gotten this, we've been using this and, we've sold it out. So this has been purely for our internal use, but the amount of time and resources spent on it must have been significant. So why did we decide that it was worth this investment? What was the pain point that caused us to think that, it was worth these amount of hours and months and years to put into perfecting this portal, that holistic solution to all the problems that maybe the other portals were not able to provide?
Yes. So the complete vision behind this was, there was a lot of data leakage in terms of lack of communication, the details, the centralized details, the resume and everything are not centralized. So the reason we invest a lot of time, to save even more time in future when we are hiring, to fast forward the hiring process, to, fast forward the onboarding process and everything. So the traditional hiring was like, you have files where you keep all the documents, resume, then there is online invitations for interview, then there are separate spreadsheets where, different feedbacks are put on together for each and every individual in terms of whether it's a first round, second round. So there was lack of information. There was not information the way we wanted to analyze the data, that what is causing a lot of time, to close these positions, or why is taking so much time. So that's where, we thought to have everything as in recruitment portal. So now if we see from the inception, from the job opening part until the employee onboarding, everything is covered under one solution. So let's say if there is any requirement, HR or the tech team members can open the requirement, HR can approve it, the job posting will automatically visible on the site. So whatever resumes you are getting, they will be, visible under recruitment portal, will be assigned to the respective team members for interviews. You can set up the hierarchies that who's going to be take first interview, who's going to take the final round, and what is the outcome, what are the feedbacks, and whether it is a success or a lost candidate. So everything is under one solution. So that is for us saving a lot of time, a lot of energy. It's saving a lot of rework in order to, onboard any employee. So all the document management is happening on the portal. All the feedback management is happening on the portal. All the schedules are getting managed over the portal as well.
Okay. So I don't know why did I not mention this earlier, but we have CK with us, who is literally the brain, the hands, and the talent, the skill behind where Recruitment Portal is today. CK, how long has the Recruitment Portal been running for, and how long did it take you to build it to where it is today?
We have started building, I think it was 1.5 years back. It took around 9 months to build the complete solution. And gradually we also make some more enhancement and implement more functionalities as per our requirement.
Wow. Now, I found out something really interesting, which I don't know, it did not occur to me before. Before we got on this call, you mentioned that it's not called Recruitment Portal. It has its own name, and it's a very catchy one at that. And I do know what it's called now, but so when you were building the Recruitment Portal, and who was the mind behind, or what was the, thought process behind the name we have for it now? But you'll have to start with what's the name for our Recruitment Portal.
Yes, the name was IndiaNIC Talent Hunt.
Talent Hunt. How did this name come about? Like, what is it that we were trying to achieve?
Yeah, we are hunting talent for our company, definitely. So that's why we make like IndiaNIC Talent Hunt.
And because I remember you mentioning also that we were expanding to other countries, to other cities and things like that. So where is the idea of what was the first problem? Like, what was your first roadblock that you remember, since we decided that okay, we're going to have the Recruitment Portal, and you start working on it and brainstorming, and then you start putting in the wireframes or how you want it to look like, for example, or how you want it to function. What was the biggest, or you're the first ever roadblock that you thought that oh my God, okay, this is going to be a bit of a problem?
So first roadblock was collecting data, because we are collecting data from different sources. Might be I'm searching in any acquisition portal like LinkedIn, Naukri, or somewhere else, and collect from there. Then I'm using my own way. There is no central. Then I'm collecting data from different sources like consultant and referral, I said, right? So this is one problem. Second problem was, whenever somebody in my hierarchy, in department hierarchy, every company has its own hierarchy, like department head, in CC department, people, those who are taking interviews. So hierarchies are there. Then it is very difficult to collect all feedbacks together in one place. It is very difficult for us to find. Another thing was, if I want to search a candidate's feedback, which was done, the interview was done in the past, it was very, very difficult to search within a second or within a minute, right? So this is very, because if I want to reconnect to that employee, somehow he has not joined to us, then I have to find all the feedbacks in the past, and I want to connect, or I want to offer something else, right? If you are not. So all these problem was there at that time. And another one is we are going for a recruitment drive, the city. It was in Bangalore. So it is very difficult that whenever consultancy and from Bangalore provide us this resume, then it is very difficult to identify who are the candidate from our HR and who are the candidate from. So manual managing Excel sheet is very difficult. So everything, all this problem, to provide the solution to all this problem, we start developing this recruitment portal.
Okay. So when we said that from job postings up until employee onboarding, I know I'm mentioning is the second for the the second time, but the reason I want to emphasize this is because I still am not able to visualize the the entire process of what is it like? What is the experience or the user experience or the user journey like from when we go onto the website and then we sign in, and then what starts to happen, and where we go end up finalizing somebody, and then what happens to those that we do not finalize. So if you have it ready with you, is it like okay if you can kind of help us experience or like visualize that entire journey with our recruitment portal?
Yeah, so you can show the demo. Okay, so you can see our IndiaNIC talent height. So you can log in from here. Then as soon as you log in, you can see the dashboard. So this recruitment portal, what we develop is completely, it is not a talent acquisition portal like LinkedIn and Naukri. It is completely used for internal management in recruitment. Okay. So any company, if want to recruit by themselves, the recruitment process they can establish through this portal. Okay. So to manage all the recruitment process, every company has its department structure, might be hierarchy. Okay. So you can see every department, we can add it over here, all departments and their heads. And you can see the hierarchies also. Did you see the hierarchy? Means this is operation. So this hierarchy help us. Yes. This help us to see the what feedbacks and all these activities performed by these subordinates to this department head. So all department data is not visible to other department. Any department data is not visible to other department unless otherwise only visible to the people, those who are working under this department only. So as a department, I don't want to see other department data, right? So it is just a jargon. I don't know what is the job opening, why they are doing. I don't know to say this, right? So this hierarchy help us see only my information as a department head on my department's information from here. So this hierarchy every organization have, and they can manage according to that requirement. Then we can add department over here. In every department, the department as a department head, I can see how many job opening we have in this department, and all the candidates already intervene in this in my department. All the candidates for all jobs. Okay. I can see all interviews as a department head, all interviews, interviewers. What are the interviewers in my department? This is activity log. And as a department head, I can definitely create the job opening. Whenever any job opening I want to open the job, then I can go over here. I can search if any job already created, like. So you can see there I tried to write like React.js developer. So you can see there are React native and all this information is visible. Means all this job has already been created. So I can select any one of them and add position, or I can create new one. Okay. If I don't want to select from there, I can new one from here. And as soon as I create the job opening, it will be go for approval in hierarchy.
Okay.
You can see job is pending for approval, and you can see this is created by somebody, and the hierarchy, some other management people also able to see this and approve this. So as soon as it is approved, it will be qualified for start recruitment process. Okay.
Understood.
Then job opening, you can from the job opening detail page, you can see all the interviews performed in this for this job. You can see all the assessment. Assessment is something like I can create an assessment from the assessment section, and I can associate with this job, associate with the job. So whenever any interviews will be conducted, this assessment will be visible to the interviewer to give the feedback. Right?
Right.
You can see the interviews, all the interviews, those who are going to take interview for this job only. All candidates in their hierarchies. This is what I will explain later on. This is the hiring pipelines. Means the way these are the steps one by one from onboarding till from interview, start interview, candidate join to the portal till giving the offer. Right? This is the hiring pipeline. And then for this job, if I want to find some appropriate candidate from current database, there are so many candidates, as I said, is already in our database. I can search according to the experience, what experience I need, and the skills which mentioned in the job details. Did you see? These are the skills and all the description is there. So by matching all these things, it will suggest you the appropriate candidate for this job. Then I can also, as a HR person, I can contact them. Right?
Right.
Now, job opening has been completed, then interviews will be conducted, definitely. So you can see, you can go to interview section. You can create interview. So here, when you create interview, what happens? All the interviewers assigned to these interviews will be populated here. Okay. Then as soon as you select as a primary interviewers, because in interview process, what is the important thing? The scheduling, availability of the interviewer and the candidate, right? So to these two things, we are using our another product, AMPM Live. Okay?
Yeah.
So as a primary interviewers, I set my profile with my availability link. So as soon as I create this interview, so this link of primary interviews go to the in the email notification is go to the candidate. Candidate find the suitable time and book the slot. We don't have to coordinate for this availability. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Then as soon as booked, of course, the email notification is there. Somebody can see the email notification if somebody booked the slot. Then interview process will be conducted. So you can see there are some interviews. Let's say I can see one candidate. Let's say this one. Okay. The first round and second round interviews have been conducted, and this is a final round. So you can see interview process from here, feedbacks from here. You can see the feedbacks, right? And for the final round, it is scheduled, but it is not conducted yet. So when interviewer is taking interview, you can see you can add the feedback over here. Did you see? You can
this
see
is during
yes.
the interview.
Yes. So as an interview, at the time of interview, I can see all the details of in the left hand side. I can see all the details of candidate, also resume. Both the things I can see from it. In the meanwhile, I can provide the feedback over here. Okay. So now you can see these are the assessment I have set in the assessment section, right? So I can provide the feedback according to these topics. These topics means if you want to evaluate the candidate, you can set some topics on which topic you want to evaluate, and you can rate them. And you can see the rating out of which, and a general feedback is there. So according to this feedback, the upper management or might be the final round interview, after final round interview, the HR or the management can able to see how they can offer or whether they can shortlist or not. Okay. So as soon as somebody is shortlisted, so they are going to offer them, right? So the offering process is also one important thing, as I mentioned. So all the candidate, those who have been already shortlisted, so they can see from here, and they can send the invitation. Did you see? So in this invitation, what they can do, they can send the offer letter. They can send the offer from here. All the dynamic information, you can see the designation, what designation should be, the notice period, then when they can join, all the information they can set and they can send it to candidate. Okay?
Understood.
So here the main important thing is the document. Before we offering to candidate, we want to validate the candidate whether he is or she is genuine person, genuine candidate or not. We can send the offer letter. What are the dynamic value we have passed? It is automatically create the letter from here, and we can send it from here. Okay. So from here we can send documents. Okay. So what are the document we required? We can set in the setting section and in the offer section. We send this document to candidate. Candidate can see in the candidate portal here. Okay. So right now the candidate is not offered. So they can see the candidate, they can see the offer letter and the document the company has requested. They can upload the document from here. Recruiter from the company or organization will validate them. If it is not proper, they can commenting on that. All this stuff will be done automatically over here, means from this portal. So this manual work is going to reduce by this portal, the candidate portal and the offering section from recruitment portal. Okay. Then another part is consultant portal. As I mentioned earlier, so consultant can log in from here. This is a consultant portal. As soon as they log in, they can upload what are the candidate they want to provide to this company. They can upload from there, just like our recruitment portal, bulk upload or might be individual upload. And it is automatically identified that which consultant provide this candidate. And the main thing is that whenever this candidate will be uploaded from here, if this candidate's email ID and mobile number is matched in recruitment portal, it will stop them uploading and notify that this candidate is already in this portal. So you cannot. Okay. So these are some main features. There are other features also available, but these are the main features we implemented, which will help any company to smoothly run the recruitment process.
So what happens to the interviewees that do not go through with the onboarding part? What happens to the information and to their information, your interaction with them through the interviews, and any information they may have provided or uploaded onto the portal? What happens to all of that data?
So those data will be here, but those who are not shortlisted, we can also notify to them with some feedbacks, regular feedbacks, but it is not proper, means all details what we see, okay, that you are not shortlisted, and we'll consider it for the next round or might be next opportunity, okay. But some candidates also we offered, shortlisted and offered, but still they didn't, sometimes they didn't join to this company, join to organization. So those data also in this portal, we just put it in with us. So whenever required, we just search it from this portal and we can contact them. That is the important thing, because sometimes, initially what happened, we didn't know that what was the feedback of XYZ candidate, and it is very difficult for us to find it, right? So we can find everything over here, who are the shortlisted, who are the offered but not joined. All this statistics you can see from here, and filter in the candidate section you can see, okay, with their status, hiring status, okay, and we can contact them. So the candidate section you can see, recruiter can add candidate manually one by one, or they can add through bulk upload. Means if they upload the resume, then automatically it will pass the resume, and most 60-70% information will be filled within this form automatically, okay, by passing the resume, okay. And this candidate information we are getting from different sources, like recruiter can search manually somewhere else and add over here manually. Their referral form is there. If somebody refer, they can upload the candidate information from referral form, by which they can get some referral bonus also. Another thing is the consultant can also provide the candidate. So from consultant portal, everything will be stored in this candidate section, all information. Okay. Sometimes the candidate see our job opening from our website or might be somewhere in the LinkedIn we post, then they can also apply it from there, and those information also will be visible in this section. Okay. So if you go inside, you can see the view details of the candidate. You can edit information from here, and you can see the hiring pipeline. Okay. So recruiter is going to this pipeline, this status will be updated automatically. So let's say this is new candidate, means whenever any candidate onboard from anywhere, right? It will be new candidate. Then HR person or might be recruiter is going to contact them, and they will call them whether they are interested for this job or not. Then they will mark it manually. Rather than everything will be automated. Like pre-screening, when pre-screening will be happened, then the pre-screening will be completed. Then interview process, when it is in interview stage, there is some interview, it will be interview stage, hiring pipeline stage. And every pipeline, every stage has its sub-stages. You can see. Okay. Because it is whenever interview stage means it is first round interview or second round interview, which interview stage it is, we can see from here. Then if it is stage, then it when the feedback will be shortlisted from in the final round, then it will be automatically selected. And not shortlisted, then this another one, the not shortlisted pipeline will be selected. If a candidate after interview is not decided to take or not, then we can make it hold. When we send the offer letter, then this phase will be selected. But in offer section, there are so many sub status, we can say, like to be offer, offer on hold, offer rolled out already, offer accepted or declined. There are so many every main status or pipeline as status as sub status, right? Then if the candidate joined, okay, then all the candidate joined, then status will be automatically joined. How it will be considered. So the offer letter, the offer section, you see, in the offer section we send everything, and all the information and document we get from the candidate, and we mark it offered there. Offering process is completed. Then in offer section, then there is offer section, offer process will be completed. Then join will be marked whenever candidate join to our company. Then we have to make it manually join. So as soon as you make it join, then we can take all the documents like the mark sheet, the identity proof, address proof, everything we can, in one click, we can take it to our ERP system. Rather, we are manually download it from the email and upload it to our ERP for our future reference. Okay. Now, if somebody backed out, then of course we can mark it as a backed out. And other process, if anything happen like other mistakes, then we can set it from here. Okay.
Understood. So this is from the candidate's point of view, or this is from the hiring team?
This is from hiring team. So hiring team, some status will have to update by themselves, and some status will be automatically in the update. So you can identify from this that the candidate is in which stage, whether it is reject and rejected, not shortlisted, or is in offering stage, or which stage he is right now. You can see from here. Then for this candidate, you can see how many interviews done, and offer discussion means sometimes we have to discuss regarding how much offer we should take. So department manager and the recruiter both discuss together. So that discussion also we can capture here for the future reference, right? Either verbally or might be communicating through any instant messenger. It is better to communicate over here so that the log will be here, and we can take it as a reference for the future. Okay. If any note do you want to put it, like do you want to make it blacklist or some note we have to and we can add it over here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we can add the candidate blacklist. Did you see? If something happen that we have to make the candidate blacklist, then he will never apply to our portal.
Understood.
Okay, to this company especially any recruitment, like any for any opening or requirement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The important part is you can ask like what is the data security, because the personal information like PAN card, Aadhaar, or any other identity proof we are uploading over here, then anybody can ask what is the security of taking all these things.
Yeah.
Nobody misuse those things because these are important thing, right? So for
That's
that
true.
we use encryption in the database whenever we're taking those data. And for the documents, we use signed URL, which is something we have stored in some place, and we cannot access to, just like YouTube video or some. You cannot directly download it from the URL, right? From the link. So
Yes.
that is called signed URL. So only authorized person can download it and use it. Okay.
And where is all this data stored as of now for us? And what is the potentiality for this data being stored? Like for example, I know we've never considered it, but this is something I want to bring up later. But where is it being stored? What's the storage solution for all this data? Because we are a heavily HR company. Our entire system works on HR. So I know that we have like large amounts of turnover in the company, and that's a lot of data.
So yes, storing this data in AWS, the cloud, and the security for infrastructure means cloud security. We are followed as a standard security process that we follow for other projects as well.
Okay, we're using a cloud-based server.
Yeah.
For this. And what would be your recommendation like for anybody else that probably is in the same shoes that we are in right now in terms of, data storage? Privacy, you were more than crystal clear about the fact that everything is encrypted. Only authorized personnel have access to certain amounts of data. That too, it's not all of information for even the selective ones. But when it comes to storage, what are because you're the expert when it comes to this entire system, what is your recommendation for storage?
Storage means because there are different storage, like data storage or file storage. So
data storage. So when I asked storage, what I'm sure that you know more than I. But when I was going to ask the question, or when I was asking the question about storage, what I meant to ask is that all this data that we're receiving of candidates from directly from either consultants or directly from candidates, and all of that is, of course, heavily confidential information, whether it's their resumes, whether it is their, identification documents, things like that. There are also times that some of them are probably going to go up to the job offer part and have submitted their, confidential documents, but they never made it to the actual job, like you said, that they decide that, they want to go with another company or things like that. But we do still end up keeping their data for future considerations when, we want to look them up or they show interest in any of our job openings down the line. So where does all of that data, where it gets stored?
Yeah, everything is stored in database, and we are also selecting a database from AWS itself, the cloud.
Right.
And the file storage, we are using S3 bucket, which is standard practice to store all the static images, files, documents, PPT, everything can store in AWS S3 bucket. So we store it over here. So and we are not going to delete anything unless otherwise the candidate is complaining anything or say something about his data, right?
Understood.
And means not the secure data, because everybody openly share their resume in the talent acquisition portal like Naukri, LinkedIn, and another place. The
Right.
cost information is very secret, like their identity proof, address proof, on all this
Yeah. Yeah.
is those information will store in uh, secure storage in S3.
Understood. So we were talking about, by the way, are we already at the end of the walkthrough, or is there more to see in terms
Yeah,
of?
we have completed all the features we have in this portal.
Mhm.
But still, if you have any question, you can ask from the perspective of which industry can use this and all this stuff.
Yes. Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question, that what are the industries that this recruitment portal as a white label solution is? When I say white label, I mean that they have a holistic system like you have, like we have, like that they do it in-house. The entire recruitment process they do in-house. What kind of companies, industries are more, eligible, are the most eligible for this particular solution?
All the companies, those who have the main resource or assets, you can say the human resource, they can use it, because most of the time IT company, 90% or I can say 80%, the IT company use this because their main assets is the human resource, right?
Right.
The manufacturing company or other company might not have the human resource, the main assets, but
Mm.
IT company definitely. And like IT company, like banking sector and other where human resources their main resource assets, they can use it.
Right.
Yeah.
So earlier we mentioned that we were keeping data of the candidates that don't make the cut. We keep their data, or even of the candidates that are like that made to the employment, and then even after exiting, we keep their data in order for us to reach out to them in the future. But how do we address the obsolete? Like, is there always a chance? Because if the same CV does not stay the same, the skills of that candidate does not stay the same, let's say 2 or 3 years after they've either exited the company or after they submitted their initial CV. So how do we address that? Or we stop the information from being obsolete on our system, on our database?
No, actually we have candidate portal. So what we did actually, we within a specific interval, we just send provide the invitation. So from the candidate portal, they can see all the opening from our side, as well as they can update their resumes and the data, current
Right.
data. Every specific duration, we just provide them, we just invite them, send the invitation to update their profiles. So in candidate portal, there is no password they have to remember. They just need to put their email ID and they will get the notification, get a OTP in their email ID and log into using this OTP. So after years also, if you send them notification, they can just open the link, put their email ID, get the OTP and log in. Okay. Then they can see our openings in candidate portal itself. So what they can do from the candidate portal, they can update, especially they will update their data, recent data and skills, which is a difficult part for recent days, right? To update data and manually fill the form, right? So it will be done by candidate himself, and they can see all our opening we have right now. So they can also refer someone. If he is not, this candidate is not eligible for that job, also he can refer. Whether the system is there, he can refer and get the referral bonus. That facility.
No, that's a thing. Wow. Okay, that's a cool feature.
So that can be done from candidate portal itself.
Wow.
Means
So
the candidate has to come to our website and see what opening we have. Because if I'm not looking for a job, I'm not going to search for any job. right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we send them invitation in his email, then they can open it. They can see all this job opening and they can refer to any of their friend.
Wow. So these emails that are sent out to previous candidates, anyone whose data that we have with us, that these emails are not sent out manually. They're automatically, like, these emails are generated as a notification that please update your data. And if you've got anybody, interested in this, or anybody that is fit for this position that we have vacant, send an invite and you get a bonus.
Yes.
That's like an affiliate program. You know that, right? We're very big on affiliate programs these days, where practically everything. But I love that, like, we thought of this as yes, you are incentivizing, but the idea is to actually think of it as a business model as well. I know we did not expand on it as much, but I love that how you thought of everything, like every aspect of this. The detail of your demo was like, it was outrageous at one point when I was like, wow, there's so much, but it makes so much sense to have everything under one. For a lot of people, it would be overwhelming, but then again, those people have nothing to do with the entire recruitment system. That's probably why. But for those who have, I know that they would be like taking a sigh of relief that, okay, now I see someone who's not HR like me. I see exactly why did we need, a solution like that. Because if I were to, go on to another portal, the max that they were able to do for me, this is when I was back in the days hiring a VA. And I did not want to go on Fiverr or Upwork to do that. And so I went into a portal, and the only thing they managed to do for me was that they were able to only, let's just say, put together a survey that the first stage of the interview, that the potential candidates were going to have to fill out that survey or that set of questions. And then it was going to decide automatically whether they were ready for the next stage, which was the one-on-one interview with me. But most of the times, and although they claimed that they were using ATS, it wasn't effective. Like, I ended up not hiring anybody, but I ended up paying of course, for the services and things like that, the job postings they did on my part. But like, the thing is that it was only one stage that they covered, but everything else I had to take care of. So even if it was successful, I had to take care of everything else. Now, if I were to have to go back to trying to hire a VA again, a virtual assistant again, I have no way of reaching out to the ones that I spoke to last time. So this really, really is holistic in the literal sense, and not just, in the marketing or salesy sense. But what the last question I want to direct to you, Parth, that you've been in this system, you've been in the company for, I think, almost a decade now. And you've seen people come and you've seen people go, and you've seen the entire, the turnover of how it goes. And this has been implemented since a year now. What difference do you see between before this solution was implemented and now?
I see a lot of difference. The entire hiring process has gone, I must say, on a 3x, 4x speed. So what happened, old days, what used to happen is whenever there is a new requirement, right? So we work in a set of technology, right? So now it's not something that keep on changing every single day, but people come and go. So if there are openings within the same technology, what we used to do in past was, open up the spreadsheets, make filters, who are the rejected candidates, who are the selected candidates, but not joined, kind of a thing. So every time in past, we used to start from zero for any hiring. But after, having this portal live and up and running for us for last almost 1 year, we are almost, starting from 60-70%, because we have the dashboard ready, that who were the previous employees who were selected in first round or second round. We have the feedbacks in place that, okay, for so-and-so reason he was rejected, but now in this opening, those are not the cases. So maybe we can reconsider him. So the speed of hiring has gone so high, and the HR can do actual their work instead of, even in past, what used to happen is like when there are any resumes coming from consultants, there always sort of a fight going on that, okay, no, this was our employee, this was consultant's employee, and there was no clarity. And we end up paying, the to the consultant for those particular profile because we had no clarity. But now with the help of portal, whenever consultants are trying to upload the resume, and if it is already into the database, it will not allow them to upload. So they cannot claim the ownership of the profile. Yeah. So, the team can focus more on the hiring part versus, having this distribution.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is so smart. And I did not think that was actually a problem, like having overlapping profiles and then having to claim ownership. And then, oh my God, I never thought of that as an actual problem. But then again, I was probably never part of the entire recruitment system. But the fact that file ownership, so we're talking just right now, we're talking just about profile ownership. Now, where my mind went to was even file and document ownership. And that is why I think, when you mentioned, CK, that you were adamant about how serious we take the security procedures around data encryptions and things like that. It's so easy to have to take away ownership from somebody else just because you don't have that clarity. And today, what are you seeing like the difference between before and now, the quality of people that are being hired? How's that changed? Has that changed?
Yeah, that changed drastically. Because the feedback and the assessment process we are doing from pre-screening till different rounds, like first round, second round, third. How many rounds you want to take, it is dynamic from the portal. So every round we have some complexity, right? So if it's senior profile, then according to the job description, we might have to set multiple stages of interview, and the complexity of every stage will be different, right? So and we will evaluate accordingly. For every stage, we have different assessment. So we can easily, what you can say, shortlist candidate according to our requirement. The filtration process will be very nice. And if I want to shortlist for, let's say, someone candidate which is average in technical, but he is good in communication and soft skill, then I can also consider for future reference, or might be whatever my decision, I can take the decision because everything is in front of me. Right?
I am that candidate. You literally explained me. But yeah, I completely understand that, like the clarity in communication and also the clarity in the data, or the history of communication really does help, because so many times there's so much back and forth going on between the firm and the candidate. And it's not to say that the candidate is only applying to that firm. That candidate themselves is probably applying to other firms. There's so many times that a candidate would get a call from a company and they'd be trying to like scratch their head thinking like, which company it is? When did I apply to this company? That kind of stuff. And having that history really helps in maintaining the quality of conversation. And like, even though there has been a break between conversation, but then when we go back into that history and we can take it off from there and proceed with the future conversations instead of trying to recall what we talked about before, and eventually adding to the quality of conversations and also adding to the quality of the kind of people that we want to work with. I know that I am extremely careful about that I mean, not in terms of like keeping history of conversations, but definitely in terms of the kind of people that we want to work with. And one of the reasons today we're like all sitting together is because that was made clear from day one, both of us, that this is how, we're going to add value to each other and how we can take care of each other. And these are the words I've never heard a company use before. They're always talking about like, okay, this is our criteria and this is what we're looking for. This is what we want, but not how we are adding value and how we are taking, people with us in our journey. And this is how we can add value to you. And this is what we're looking for in return. And it's just pure unadulterated exchange of values, just values. And of course, with a lot of love and care. But that is the cheesy part of the conversation. I am so glad we had this conversation today because honestly speaking, it did really open my mind. I've never done this before, but I actually ended up taking notes on this call because there were so many aspects that really hit, the mark for me. And I genuinely, I've never enjoyed an entire user journey in any other process, but more than I did in this one, mostly because what I was probably looking for subconsciously was the idea of how humanizing this entire process was. It's not about that we need to check this box and this box and this box. It was more about how are we considering the needs of the humans, convenience of the humans that are involved in this entire process of recruiting. At the end of the day, it's about us trying to decide the kind of people we want to have a relationship with, right? So, the fact that we have something that actually makes that a possibility. And when you said, Parth, that it has actually increased the quality of people that we hire as well as the speed of people we hire by 4 to 6 times, that is that I would if I had not seen this demo, I would have said it's a ridiculous claim. But now that I've seen the demo, I'm thinking, no, this is real, because every step of the entire demo that I saw, or the entire journey that I saw or experienced, was extremely human. I've never seen anything more human in technology than this before. And so I'm so glad that you took the time out to show this to me. And I hope that we are able to communicate this to so many other people. It's not fair that we have this to ourselves and we don't offer this to anybody else. Now, last question. Is this something that you ever thought that you were going to offer to somebody else outside of us?
Yes, we can definitely give it to someone else maybe on a SaaS module or a one-time setup or anything. So it's been I think taken care, CK, if I'm not wrong. If anyone wants it for their organization, the most important part of the system that we have taken care is you can integrate this with any of your existing ERBs that you are using. So you don't need a separate ERP for this. This can be integrated with any of your existing system. So all you have to do, you just have to configure this based on your hierarchies, based on your requirement, and it's all ready to use. So that's the beauty of it.
Okay, that was actually, I do remember we having this conversation about it, and I'm so glad you brought this up, because this would definitely be the next concern, that okay, we've got this entire, onboarding process and everything going for us, but then what next? Once the guy is in, what do we do with that then? And this is actually quite a relief that that is the case, that we are able to plug it into any. So we have our own ERP system that we've plugged this into, right? Yeah.
So the open API means you can, let's say we have created 4 openings in any job, right? 4 openings in, let's say, any business analyst. So we can post that in different place, means in our IndiaNIC website, or any means our branding website, or somewhere else using this open API.
Right.
You can integrate anywhere, because we have opened it for other website API, so you can use that. Then another API is whenever the candidate has joined to our company, all information would have to fill once in our ATS or ERB. It will automatically, it's all the information what is required, and it will be filled to their database. It means the human effort, definitely. This onboarding process, when somebody joined to the company, is also the recruiter, in terms of HR person, is going to do this.
Yeah.
So from onboarding through our ERP system is also the part of HR process, right? So it is in this place also.
Yeah, so because all the data that has been collected in the recruitment automatically gets uploaded into the ERP.
So whatever
So,
required, they will, if some
yeah.
information is not required, they can discard.
Wow. Okay. Wow. So you really thought of everything.
Yeah.
Almost everything.
Yeah, I'm looking at CK and I'm like, oh my God, how much did he have to worry about? Like, how much time did you actually spend, like, sharpening the knife before you even started cutting the tree? Like, I mean, you said, yes, it took you 9 months to build the app, but then like, how much time did it take you before that? Having to go, like, because you're not like, at the end of the day, yes, you understand the HR process, but these problems, you really have to live through them in order to understand these problems. And the fact that you literally thought of everything, I'm just like, how long did he actually take to try to like understand this, like to even brainstorm it?
Yeah. So whenever I found some issue or problems in our system, then we just note it down somewhere else.
Yes.
I want to mitigate our system. So that is what the evaluation of product is. So whenever we develop product, it definitely we thought about how it solve the problem of humans. Okay, in our society, might be in organization, in our anywhere. That is how product is going to be success. Otherwise,
Absolutely.
product is not a success product. If it provides solution to the problem of society, then only this product will be success. So to develop something, we have to first identify the problem, all the problems,
Right.
and we have to find out the solution, how we can provide it to how you can.
Yeah, but like, for example, like when you mentioned the problem with regards to, consultants and, this constant back and forth with like ownership of a profile, who would ever thought of that's going to, like the fact that you actually even took that into consideration when you were building the consultant portal. I'm thinking, I know for a fact you've had to be like at least a good couple decades into HR in order to even have something like that where like such like, I mean, I'm not saying that the problem is small. It actually costs you a lot more like in the long run. But the fact that it happens not as much as your regular like recruitment process related problems. Like I'm just saying it in relevance to other problems that, we would face, which are very obvious to everybody. But then something as small as that, and the fact that you guys have taken consideration of even that. So that is what like boggles my mind. But I think instead of like trying to constantly pick and, point every little thing and wowing like a fangirl, I think we got everything. And I know that. So when are we ready to launch the product for the market? I mean, we already have it for us.
Yeah. So for that, I said that we have to make it either SaaS or we have to be different white labeling. Which
Understood.
will provide the software in their server. That is white labeling we can do, or SaaS. SaaS we are already starting. Might be in few months, in couple of months, I think we can complete that.
Wow. Because SaaS is a big deal. I think we had a long conversation about that as well. I'm not saying SaaS is a big deal as in it's hard to achieve big deal. It means that it's quite popular in overall how people are wanting, because a lot of people want what we have, but they don't want to have to take full responsibility of it once they have it. So they still want somebody else improving it constantly, bringing in the next thing into the thing, into the app or into the solution without having to like take full responsibility for it, so that they can do better or they can focus more on their core businesses rather than having to manage the portal. But then again, there are businesses out there, like you said, banks, IT companies, companies that are really heavy on HR, that this would be better off done for them as a white label product. So thank you again for actually putting this all together and really giving a very different perspective to the entire recruitment process. HR is not like today I begin to like actually realize, because I was one of those people who used to think like HR is like what? These people are the most overpaid, ridiculously overpaid people. But now that I've actually gone through this, I'm like, no, the kind of problems that they had to deal with before we had recruitment like the recruitment portal kind of solution is, I mean, it's ridiculous. So they deserve to be paid, to be overpaid, if anything. So yeah, I'm glad that I actually had this perspective from you today. And thank you.
Thank you.